Hi everyone, and welcome to the next video in our Training for Summer online courses. In this video, we're going to discuss how you can create a quiz on Moodle. Using the quiz feature will allow you to assess your students, letting you know if they're understanding everything that you're giving them in your course. So we're going to discuss in this video how you can create the quiz and add the questions directly to it. And then in a separate video, I'm going to show you how you can create a question bank as you go along throughout your class, and then you can pull the questions from that question bank when you're ready. So to start, we have our editing button on already, but in case you need a reminder, it's here in the upper right hand corner on the gear menu, and you would click turn editing on. And in our section, so we'll go to the last section here, and we will choose add an activity or resource, and we want to press quiz. This is where we're going to create all of the specifics for our quiz, and we're going to give it a name. So we'll just name this exam 1. And then here in the description is where we're going to put the instructions for that student. So in this section, you're going to put the directions for your quiz. I put something very simple, but you can be as detailed as you like. And I'm just letting the student know that how long the quiz will be and that they do not have a time limit for it. So here under timing, this is where you're going to adjust when you open the quiz, close the quiz, if there's a time limit, and what to do when time expires. So you can disable when you're going to open and close the quiz if you like, but opening the quiz meaning that's the first time they'll be able to access it, and closing it means that's the last time they'll be able to access it. And if you want to enable these options, you would just click on enable and then pick the time and the date. Also keep in mind that the time is Army time, so you just want to make sure that that is accurate before you save the changes. If you're going to provide a time limit, you would enable this and put that time limit here. I do not have a time limit for this quiz, but you can add that in here under where the number is. In this option here, you're telling Moodle what you want to do with certain attempts. So by default, it says that the attempts must be submitted before the time expires or they're not counted. But there are two other options here where any open attempts will be submitted automatically. And there's also a grace period when open attempts can be submitted, but no more questions answered. So I'm going to leave mine as default. But if you do provide the submission grace period, you want to give how long that grace period is going to be here. Under grade, this is where we would put our quiz in the category that we previously created. So here under grade category, I would put this in midterm. And if you want to put a grade to pass, you can put that here. If you're going to allow multiple attempts, you would put that information here. I'm only going to allow one attempt, but anytime you allow more than one attempt, you can choose how you want it to be graded. So for example, if I give 2 attempts, I want to tell Moodle which of these attempts am I going to accept, and most of the time professors will choose the highest grade. And then we have our layout here where we can choose if we want a new page for every question or every 2, 3, 4, 5, whichever one you like. The question behavior, if you choose to shuffle within questions, that means that the answers that you provide, if they're multiple choice, will be shuffled as well. This works as long as you don't use an option like both A and D or something like that. So if you don't have questions like that, you could shuffle to make it a little bit harder in case your students are sitting next to each other. In your case, since it's online, it's not really an issue. And then how questions behave. If you choose deferred feedback, that means they won't get any feedback about that particular question until after the quiz has been attempted. These are your review options here, and this basically allows you to make a decision about what you want the students to see or not see. So if you are giving them multiple attempts and you don't want them to see the right answer right after the attempt, you would uncheck right answer, and then this is later while the quiz is still open, and this is after the quiz is closed. So it really depends on the kind of quiz you're giving and how much information you want to give to the students. Here we have appearance, so if we want to show the user picture, you can. And these are just a few other options. If you want to allow extra restrictions on the attempts, you can require these options, but this is getting, this is when you want extra protection on your quiz. Most professors I find don't really use this. So here in the overall feedback section, you could set boundaries for different kinds of feedback. So you can put a grade boundary of 90%. So you could you have to put the percent sign in there. And anytime a student gets anywhere between 90 and 100%, they'll receive the feedback that's inside of this box. And then you can continue going down if you want to do 80%. So anytime a student gets between 80 and 90%, they would get the feedback in this box, and so forth. So when you're all done, you want to scroll down and you want to click Save and Return to Course. And then we have our exam right here. So now we've created the bones of the exam, but we have to start adding questions to it. And if we want to do that, we would just click on the place that says Exam 1, and then you want to click Edit Quiz. So here we have our Exam 1, and now we can start adding questions to our quiz. So to do so, we would click Add here in the corner, and we want to press a new question. And there is a very large variety of questions you can choose from. We're only going to discuss 2 in this video for the sake of time, but I would suggest going over and seeing and trying all these different questions and see which ones work for you. So we're going to start with the basic multiple choice, and we're going to press Add. And the question name is not going to be what the question is. The question name is going to differentiate this question from other questions you create in the future. So you want to be specific as possible, so when you are ready to add a question, you know which one you're adding. So in this case, I'm going to give this question the name Walt Disney Birthday. And then here in question text, this is where I'm going to write my question. And I said, what year was Walt Disney born? If it's only one answer, which it is, you would leave one answer only. And then here under choice 1, you would start putting in your choices. So 1980. Choice 2 is 1937. Choice 3 is 1901. And choice 4 is going to be 1910. Now, since 1901 is the correct answer, we're going to say 100% for that and leave the others as none. If you want to put feedback here saying, sorry, try again, or sorry, wrong answer, or great job, you would put that in there. So if they get the question right, it'll give them the feedback that you put into there. Then once you're done, you press Save Changes, and this will take you back to our quiz where it says, what year was Walt Disney born? And now we have our question 1 here. Let's add one more question this way, and we're going to add a new question, and this time we're going to choose the true or false question. So again, we want to put the name of our question. In this case, it's going to be opening of Disney World, and we want to put our question inside here. We made the statement Disney World theme park opened before Disneyland, and in this case the answer would be false, so that's the correct answer. And again, we can give our feedback for true or false here, and we want to save the changes. So that's all the questions we're going to add for this quiz, but you can keep adding as many as you like. So you want to keep in mind that there's this text box at the end of each question which tells how many points a particular question is worth. And we also have our maximum grade here at the top. So if our maximum grade is going to be 10, we want to make sure that these questions are going to be 5 points each. So to edit it, we want to click on the little pen here, and we want to just click 5, press enter, and the same thing here. We would change this to 5 and press enter, and now it makes sense. But you can also change the maximum grade if that's not the correct grade that you want to show up. You want to make sure when you're done adding questions that you save your quiz, and when you're done you can preview it. So let's go back to our main page here, and we're going to click on the quiz here at the bottom, and we want to click on the gear here in the upper right hand corner and press preview. So now we can, this is what our quiz will look like. So let's get one wrong and we'll get one correct. So this is the incorrect answer, and then this is the correct answer. So let's press finish attempt and then submit all and finish. And then it'll see that the first one I got wrong, and it shows what the correct answer is. And then this option here will show that I got it correct. So that is really basically how you would create a quiz. The grade for the quiz will go directly into your grade book in the category that you created, as long as you place it in there when you create your quiz. Otherwise, the grade will still go in your grade book, but it'll be outside of the category. So you just want to make sure that you put it in the right one. In our next video, we're going to discuss how you can create a question bank to add questions as you go along.